my little party animals. Hiphiprenee here today with the second episode of Building 101, and today we are talking about roofing, the bane of every building simmer's existence. Everyone hates doing roofs. No one is really good at them, especially not when you start out. You can get better at roofing, but I don't know. I don't think that there's a limit to how good you can get at roofing. I am still not 100% on it, but I have learned a few little tips and tricks along the way, so I wanted to share them with you today. So if you notice, we have 3 little tiny houses on this lot, and each of them have a completely different roofing style, turning them into 3 completely different looking homes. Now, the thing that is similar about all of these homes is they are all exactly the same layout. So what I have done here is I have taken this basic layout here that I created and I turned it into 3 different houses to show you kind of what different roofing styles can do for you. So I tried to make this little section of house here, if you will. I tried to make it visually interesting on the exterior. So we have a nice little jut out over on the front over here. We have this cute little bay window area on the side. We have another jut out over on this side here. And I've just kind of gone in and changed up the roofing on all 3 of these to make them look very different. So what I'm going to do is take this empty bit right here and just kind of show you how I created the roofs on all 3 of these. So that way you can go into your game. I will upload the lot just like this so you can kind of play around with this on your own. You can deconstruct all of these buildings to see how I did the roofing on them and just kind of play around with it. Honestly, that is the best way to learn how to roof, is just to play with it and kind of figure it out for yourself. So we're going to start over here on the left. This is kind of just like a cozy little, it almost looks like a little cabin or a little cottage, and it really makes use of these gabled roofs here. So the gabled roof is the triangular style roof. You will see these on a lot of Sims builds. They are very popular. You see them on a lot of actual real life homes. If you just kind of look at things as you drive down the street or walk down the street, take a look at the houses that you pass by. Notice specifically more in some areas than other areas, a lot of them will have this gabled roofing. So the way that I did this house and the way that I do most of the houses is I started off with a gabled roof and I need to find the main section of the build. So the main section of the build is this large rectangle in the center here. So the first thing that I do is I take this gabled roof and I just cover that main section. Now you could do this the other way. You could entirely flip this and do it like this, but sometimes that gets to be a little too crazy, a little too big. I find that it's a little bit more visually appealing when you do the main roofing area with the triangle facing the side of the build. So I started off with that. I took another gabled roof, placed it right on this jut out, made it fit to size, and then just pushed it back so that it intersects nicely, hopefully nicely, it intersects nicely with the rest of the roofing I had already placed. Then we go over to the side over here, we place yet another gabled roof, fit it to size, and this one I do believe I dragged down just a little bit, just to make it a little bit less, it's not that they were intersecting, but they were getting pretty darn close. And then we take this section over here. There are 3 different types of kind of, multiple-sided roofs. And then, of course, there's also the circular roof. I tend to use the octagonal roof the most. So what I did is I placed the octagonal roof. I open it up a little bit so it covers where it needs to be covered. A lot of the times, this will bring the roof, if I can get into the Sims 3 camera, this will bring the roof too far out. So that looks a little cuckoo crazy there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to grab it. I'm going to move it so this little white area is covering exactly where that bay window ends. And then these little buttons here, if you pull this arrow out, it just kind of adds to the eaves of the house. So it just makes them a little bit bigger. And then you can just kind of go in and play with moving the roof up, moving the roof down. You can actually even go in these little dots on either side of the roof. If you bring them out, you can create a more circular style roof, or if you bring it in, you can make it kind of more of a concave roof. Obviously, you can play with that, you know, a little bit more, make it look a little bit better. There's really no one way to roof anything. You can do just so many different things with roofs and just make them look really nice. But just to finish this off, I did go into the roof trim and I added on a nice little roof trim. And there we go. There is our first building. So we are going to quickly delete this. Just delete all these little bits and pieces here, and we're gonna move on to this center build here. So this center build, I would say, is a little bit more of a suburban-y style. This is something you would find, you know, in a very generic kind of looking neighborhood, specifically a generic American looking neighborhood. This is something I feel like you would find in like a Willow Creek or even a Newcrest. But in this one, we ended up using more of these hipped roofs. So again, I'm going to find the main section of the build, and I'm going to place a roof over the main section of the build here. Now with hipped roofs, this is a personal preference of mine. I don't like how they sit on the edges of builds. So again, I go to these little arrows, I click and I pull it out, and it just kind of gives a little bit more of an eave. It just kind of gets rid of that weird, like it just looks like it's sitting on nothing. Then for this front section here, you could very well go in with this hipped roof again, but I like using the half hipped roof for things like these. I feel like it's easier to intersect them. So I just put the flat area up against the roof we already had, and then I fit it to size. And again, just pulling down the little arrows, adding in some eaves here. Now you can add in bigger eaves, you can make it really crazy, or you can pull them all the way back in. Again, personal preference here. I just like having the eaves to kind of cover that up. So then over here on the side, now I could, again, very well add another half-hipped roof. But to keep things looking, you know, a little bit more visually interesting, we're going to add this half gabled roof. So that's basically half of your triangular roof that we had over here on this little cottage area. And I'm just going to stick that right over on the side and have it intersect with the major hipped roof that we have that kind of goes across the entire building. And then again, I'm going to use the octagonal roof over here. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the first build, and then I'm just going to kind of bring it down until it looks like it's in an area that I like. And then again, I'm going to go into roof trim, and I'm just going to choose a roof trim, add it in, make sure that it's not poking out anywhere, and there we go. We have our nice little suburban-y style house. So then we can delete all of that, and we can go over here. So this is more of a modern style house. Modern styles are not my forte, but modern styles are very boxy, and these half-hipped or half-gabled roofs rather, these half-gabled roofs I think are absolutely perfect for modern builds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that half-gabled roof. Words are hard today, guys. I'm going to pull it all the way over, which makes it look super crazy. So I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to fit it, and again, there is our main section of roofing done. And then over on this little bump out over here, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to turn the half gabled roof around. So that way the angle on this one is higher up on this side and lower on this side, and then it's flipped for this. I think that, you know, really makes it look kind of nice and kind of visually interesting. And then what I did over here is I didn't want to use that octagonal roof again, so I just kind of bumped that out a little bit. I took a little column and just added the columns over here. So it looks like the columns, in this weird little area are supporting the house, and then you can just add some greenery in there or something, whatever you feel like looks good. This front area over here, now you could go in here and you could add in one of these roofs and try and make it look nice, but I don't know. I feel like that's almost too many. I'm not a fan of it. So what I'm going to do, and this is something that I do on a lot of my modern builds, is I'm going to go into the half wall section. I'm going to pick the shortest one, and I'm just going to place a half wall around there. So you can actually just kind of make it look like there is almost no roof, like it's just a flat roof, and there's just like this little kind of sticky outy bit up at the top. And I think that looks super cute. That's super modern. All three of these builds, again, come from the exact same layout. So you can do all sorts of different things with your houses. You don't have to build a house and it has to look like this, or it has to look like this. You can really just kind of pick a layout, find something that works for you, and then just try some different roofing styles. See what you can come up with. Really just play around with it. Again, I am going to upload this lot as is to the gallery, so that way you can kind of deconstruct these houses if you would like to, and then you can kind of play around with your own roofing ideas on this kind of empty layout we have here. See what you can come up with. If you do end up downloading this lot and you play around with this and you come up with some other cool roofing ideas, please by all means tag me in it on Twitter, tag me in it on Facebook, on Instagram. I would love to see what you guys come up with. If you do have any other questions about roofing, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments down below. Again, I am not a professional, but I do try my best. The next time we do a tutorial, we will be showing you how to create dormers, which is essentially just kind of like a stick out on the top of a building. We are going to be doing them for show, not for living, but that will be the next tutorial we are taking a little look at. If there is anything you would like to see me do a tutorial on in the future, please leave it in the comments down below. I hope this was super helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up down below. If you're new here or you're not new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.